In this video, we are going to talk about understanding return statement. What are the places we can use it and where we cannot? So return is a special statement that is used to return some value from a function. And as soon as a function hits return, the function execution stops at the same place. Say, we have a function here that is called fullName, and fullName uses a return statement, and on the right hand side it returns the full name of the person. What if I go ahead and say console.log testing? We refresh this, we'll see the console log is not printed here, and the reason for that is as soon as a function hits return, it stops the execution at the same place. So anything after return will not be executed. Return is used to produce an output from a function, similar to how arguments are used as an input to the function. Returning a value from a function is something like assigning a value to a variable, like number is equal to 21. Here I'm assigning a value 21 to the variable number. Because this function returns a value that can be anything, number, string, boolean, null, undefined, or an object. As soon as this function is executed, this will be replaced with aria space start. So the execution of a function got converted into a value. So if you compare these two statements, you can see they are very similar. So if we either do something like this or we do something like this, at last it's doing the same thing. And that is the reason we are using return statement, is like whatever getting returned from here is what the value it will result to once the execution ends. And if a function doesn't have a return statement, console.log, then by default function does one thing, that is return undefined. Now if we look at the value of student name, we'll see the value undefined because this function has no return statement, so it returns undefined by default. So this is how return works. But a lot of confusion happens if people start using it everywhere. But let me tell you one thing, is return can only be used inside a function. What will happen if we try to use it anywhere? So we write a if statement, and here we are saying console.log hello. Now if we refresh, here we'll see the message hello world. Because true will always be true, this line will be executed and we'll see the output hello world. But what if instead of logging the value, I go ahead and say return hello world. Refresh this, and here it will throw an syntax error by saying illegal return statement. It means that you cannot use return wherever you want. But you must have seen return inside if statement. It is only possible if it is used inside a function. So if I do function say yes, and here I'm saying whatever value is coming from here I'm saying if the value is true, return hello world. Let's go ahead and call this function and store it in a variable return value is equal to say yes, and we'll call it with true. So we are calling this function say yes with a value of true. So if true, this function will return hello world. We'll go ahead, comment out this line and refresh this page. And here we'll see this log message is coming from top. So I'll just go ahead and comment out this code and refresh, and we have nothing right. What if we go ahead and look at the value of return value? And here we can see the value returned from this function is hello world. You can only use return inside if statement if it is wrapped inside a function. Not only with this, you can use other statements like switch statement inside function, and instead of break you can say return here, and this will work properly. Let's refresh it and call this function number2 word, and we'll call this function number2 word by passing one value, that is 1, and here we can see this function is returning 1. You can only use return inside switch statement or any other thing only if it is inside a function. What if I go ahead and put it outside and refresh this? It will always be illegal return statement. So never use return statement anywhere else other than inside function. So in this way, we learned about what is the grammar behind using return and where we can use it and what are the places we cannot use return statement.